Oi girls and boys and everything in between, it's Ace Trainer Liam back with another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or counterpart Pokemon, or version exclusives. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question and try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield, we also have a Metronome battle just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of the Form Fight series and you're ready for more, hit the like button to show your appreciation for this series, and of course subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. But with everything out the way, let's have a look at today's challengers. Today we're going to be comparing the two forms of Sandslash, Kantonian and Alolan. Now Sandslash's pre-evolution, Sandshrew, has its own Kantonian and Alolan forms, but we won't be focusing on those today because most people don't tend to leave their Sandshrews unevolved. Kantonian Sandshrew can be found in Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova or Kalos and will evolve into Kantonian Sandslash at level 22. Alolan Sandshrew can currently only be found in the Alola region and will evolve into Alolan Sandslash when exposed to an Ice Stone. So what makes these two Pokemon forms so different? Let's take a look. The Pokedex tells us that Kantonian Sandslash stands at 1.0 meters tall and weighs 29.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex entry tells us its claws and horns often break off. The broken claws and horns can be used to carve plows for tilling farm fields. Thanks to its thick claws, it's good at climbing trees. There are plenty of Sandslash that park themselves in trees and go right to sleep. As for Alolan Sandslash, it stands at 1.2 meters tall and weighs 55 kilograms. Alolan Sandslash's Pokedex entry says it runs across snow-covered plains at high speeds. It developed thick, sharp claws to plough through the snow. A long time ago, it lived in the desert. With its sharp claws fully extended, it can climb right up an iceberg without slipping. In terms of appearance, these two Pokemon are relatively similar, with each having a colour scheme that signifies their typing, with Kantonian looking more sandy to reflect the ground type, and Alolan having an icy blue and white style. In their shiny forms, Kantonian Sandslash's spines take on a vibrant red colour, whereas Alolan Sandslash's body simply becomes a deeper shade of blue. Now let's have a look at their typing, weaknesses and resistances. Kantonian Sandslash is a pure ground type, making it weak to water, grass and ice type attacks. It resists poison and rock type moves and has complete immunity to electric type attacks. As for Alolan Sandslash, it's a dual type ice and steel Pokemon, making it weak to fighting, ground and fire type moves, with both the fighting and fire type weaknesses being 4 times weaknesses. Alolan Sandslash resists normal, flying, bug, grass, psychic, ice, dragon and fairy type moves, and has complete immunity to poison type attacks. Now we'll take a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Kantonian Sandslash isn't the fastest Pokemon around, but has fantastic physical defense and great physical attack as well. It does however lack noteworthy special attack or special defense. Ability wise, Kantonian Sandslash's primary ability is Sand Veil, which increases Sandslash's evasion by 1 stage if Sandstorm is in effect. This gives Kantonian Sandslash a little more protection in battle, but isn't a hugely beneficial ability. Its hidden ability is Sand Rush, which doubles Sandslash's speed during a sandstorm. This is amazing for making Sandslash a force to be reckoned with. It allows Sandslash to utilise its great attack stat before the opponent has a chance to KO it with a special attack. As for Alolan Sandslash, its stats are almost the same as Kanto's, except it swaps out 20 points of its useless special attack and splits them between its defense and special defense, giving it a little bit more bulk, which is fantastic because it can combine that with its many resistances. It technically has identical abilities to the Kanto form, aside from the fact that instead of Sandstorm activating the abilities, it's a Hailstorm that activates it. Its primary ability of course is Snow Cloak, which raises its evasion if a hailstorm is in effect, and its hidden ability is Slush Rush, which doubles its speed when a hailstorm's in effect. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two Pokemon forms I prefer, and really, I'm not choosing this because of nostalgia or anything like that, because I don't really have any nostalgic connection with Sandslash, I never really used one, but I'm going with the Kanto form, because I just can't stand Pokemon that have way too many 4 times weaknesses. Like, 1 4 times weakness is something I can deal with, but 2 is just completely out of the question for me. So Alolan Sandslash just doesn't really cut for me. I know it has a lot of resistances, but that doesn't make up for the fact that the common fighting type, which so many Pokemon can learn fighting type moves, is one of its 4 times weaknesses, so it just really doesn't have a place on the battlefield for me. Kanto, on the other hand, doesn't have any 4 times weaknesses because of course it's only a single type Pokemon, and out of the two, I'm automatically just going to go towards the Pokemon that doesn't have as terrible a weakness. But of course, it's not just up to me, it's up to you guys to decide which of these Pokemon you prefer. But before we do that, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to check these Pokemon out on the battlefield because it's time for the Metronome battle. Before we start, of course, I'll point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats. They're not holding any items. They all have their hidden abilities, so the only thing that's really going to affect that is if someone calls a Sandstorm or a Hailstorm in this instance. And really, the only massive disadvantage or advantage for these Pokemon is going to come from their typing or their base stats. Everything else is up to the Metronome. Let's go. Here we go, boys and girls, and everything in between. It's time for Kantonian Sandslash versus Alolan Sandslash, a form fight that a lot of you have been waiting for. The battle to see who really does know the way. Here we see Alolan Shiny Sandslash starting things off with Psybeam. That's a beautiful offensive start onto the Shiny Kanto with a critical hit as well. What a fantastic first turn. We see the regular Alola going with Barrage, but it's avoided by the Kantonian team, so it's not going to do any damage this round. Here we see Shiny Kanto with Toxic Thread, which will lower the speed, but of course these Steel-type Pokemon are weak. Are immune, I should say, to poison-type attacks, so no poison will take effect in this instance. We see regular Kanto bring out Oblivion Wing. That's a fantastic start. The signature move of Yveltal. Of course, it's not very effective on the Steel types, but hey-ho. What are you going to do? Damage is damage when it comes to Metronome battles. Damage is your friend. Dealing damage is the best thing you can do here. We see Nature's Madness. That's going to half the HP of regular Kanto. So regular Kanto already at a disadvantage in this battle. We're only on the second turn. How will it respond? Responds with Wild Charge, an electric type attack, which is very powerful. Does about a quarter damage to regular Alola. That was fantastic. Here we see Shiny Kanto. What's it going to do? It's going to go for Meteor Mash, which is a fantastic move. It's going to do a little bit of neutral damage on Shiny Alola. Here we see regular Alola bringing back Earthquake. That's going to hit everybody on the field. It's actually only super effective on its partner. Wow. But it is going to hit both the Kantonian Sandslash as well for a little bit of damage there. But that was quite the risky move, to be honest. Here we see Shiny Alola with Magma Storm. That's got to be a knockout on one of them. Who's it going to hit? It's hitting Shiny Alola. Oh my goodness, that 4 times weakness takes it right down. Shiny Alola, it was nice knowing you, dude. Wow, how is the Alola team gonna claw their way back from this? We see Blizzard from Kanto, which is not very effective on an Ice and Steel type. That was a very bad move to use. Here we go, Alola. Now it's your time to do something crazy. Recover! It's going to restore its HP. That's going to restore about 50% of its HP, so it's going to bring it almost back to full HP. That was a very lucky move for the Alola team because there's only one Pokemon left. It's a risky game now. Every move counts. Recycle is, of course, going to fail because no one's holding any held items, so good job, regular Kanto. Shiny Kanto goes for Power Whip. That is going to be resisted, so that's very lucky for the Alola team. The Alolan Sandslash right now needs all the luck it can get at the moment. It really needs to play it cool. Quiver Dance is one of those lucky moves that it can use because the speed and special defense boost are going to make a very significant difference to this Pokemon's ability to defend itself. Here we see Kantonian regular Sandslash going for Confuse Ray. That is not the kind of luck that the Alolan team needed because Confuse Ray could scupper all of this Pokemon's plans and strategies, and it could be possibly the end for the Alola team. Here's the Metronome though. The confusion isn't going to take effect this turn. We see Acupressure going to raise one of its stats. Which stat is it? It's going to be Attack Sharply Risen, so +2 attack for the Alolan Sandslash, but that's risky. We see Purify fail from regular Kanto, but yeah, it's risky because the confusion damage, if it hits itself like it just did there, is going to be doubled because of that +2 attack. That's a big concern. You need to make sure you're avoiding that confusion. We see Boom Burst. That's not going to do much damage to Alola. There's a little bit of damage to its partner, though, the Shiny Kanto. How will Shiny Kanto respond to being damaged by its own partner? Goes for Stone Edge. That's going to do some neutral damage, quite powerful as well. It's not looking good for Alola. I don't like to write these Pokemon off early, but I don't know how Alola's going to claw it back. We see Dragon Claw. That is going to be resisted because, of course, Steel is the only type that resists Dragon. Oh my word, this battle is intense. Here we see Alola goes for Heart Swap. That's the worst thing you could do. It just gave its stat changes. It gave +2 attack to Shiny Kanto. That's the worst thing you could do. Here's a Nuzzle. That's going to paralyze. Didn't knock out, but it's looking very, very bad for the Alolan side right now, because you've just given your stat boosts to your opponent. We see Rest coming out. We're now going to have a full HP regular Cantonian Sandslash on the field. This is not looking good at all. There we go, right back up to 100% HP, although it is going to be asleep for a couple of turns, so that could work in Alola's favour. But we see Perish Song, so Alola needs to wrap things up. If it has any prayer of winning, it needs to wrap this battle up, knock out both these Cantonian Sandslash in the next 3 turns. Can it do it? Goes for Water Shuriken, which is a super effective move, but oh my word. I think the special attack, because I believe Water Shuriken is a special attack, is just not strong enough to do any significant damage. All the perish counts have dropped, my word. This is terrifying for the Alola team. If anyone's rooting for Alola, I sincerely apologise in advance. It's not looking like you're going to claw it back. We see Wild Charge from that +2 attack. Shiny Kanto, and that's the battle. Down goes Alola. It was a Kanto domination from start to finish. Well done to the Kanto team for that victory. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon in action, now it's time for you to decide which of these Pokemon is your favourite. Is it Alolan Sandslash? Is it Cantonian Sandslash? Let me know in the comments, and of course explain to everybody why your pick is the best Hedgehog. By the way, I know they're not Hedgehogs, I just really wanted to trigger someone. Of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for all my latest updates, come and hang out in one of my Twitch live streams. If you want to support the channel, you can do so for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. The links to everything you need are in the description below, and of course subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video from me. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam, keep on training.